And we welcome you back, Rattler fans. The second half about to begin. If you missed the first, well, you missed the fireworks. 50-23, the Rattlers up early. I'm Joe Rodriguez, joined by Brian Magluyon. And Brian, St. Mary's coming out and shooting fire. They shot 53.1% from the field, while St. Edward's was shooting just 28.6% from the field. That ball last touched by a Hilltopper, as the Rattlers will retain possession. And Brian, you're up by 27 points if you're St. Mary's, but the worst thing that you can do is get comfortable.
Oh, indeed. St. Edward's, they are 6-1 in the Heartland Conference. They didn't get 6-1 by just laying around. They're going to come out with a lot of intensity, as Alexander nearly gets that one to fall, unable to hit, however. But the Rattlers, they need to keep the pressure up, because St. Edward's a very dangerous team. That's why we play two halves, as Justin Alexander turns back the shot.
And Bolton nearly saved it in off of a Hilltopper player. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Defensive intensity already up for the Rattlers. Great inbounds play. Lindsay, he'll draw the foul on Bolton, and he'll go to the free throw line. And you see Bolton not too happy with the call, but Benny's trying to calm him down. Bolton already with 3 fouls. You see him kind of waving to Coach Z that he wants to stay in the game, even with the foul trouble. That one put up and in for Lindsay, his first on the game.
And partner, we talked about during the break what St. Edward's must be talking about during the halftime break. And if I'm Coach Andre Cook, I tell my team to settle down. That's why we play two halves. Play the best half of your life, as Bolton called for his 4th personal foul, an offensive foul, as Bolton
is very upset. And did he get called for the technical? No, he did not. Bolton just dropped the ball, and you see a Rattler player actually coming off the bench and giving it to the official. Bolton a little bit emotional about those 2 fouls, but he's going to have to sit and think about it for a little bit. And when you're Bolton, you're called for those. You can't do something like that puts your team in danger of getting a technical. This one.
We've already seen how technicals have and can affect the ball game. St. Mary's were spotted 2 points to begin the game, as Witt, beautiful drive to the basket, unable to hit. Rattlers were spotted 2 points off of a technical before the game even started. And then head coach Andre Cook of St. Edward's got called for another technical foul during the first half when his team was down by 10. And that really, I feel, turned the tide in St. Mary's favor, as the momentum just continued to grow from there. Their lead down to 25 with still plenty of time left to play in this one.
Alexander facing up, back to the basket now, left-handed hook, and a foul called. He'll head to the line for 2. And you talk about that early 2-point start. St. Edward's, they've never led this game. St. Mary's, they've led by up to 30 points. So that early start, and not to mention even Christian Minor, he started out incredibly high. It felt like he had 12 points in just about 5 minutes. That's how quickly he started. And since that, St. Mary's, they haven't really looked back, as Alexander no good on that free throw.
And 50 first half points from this St. Mary's Rattlers team. Just a rarity at that, as Alexander gets the first points of the second half on the board for the boys in gold. Rattlers averaging less than 70 points per game. And they've really done an excellent job offensively, as beautiful execution there as Nussman hits on the fadeaway jumper.
Benny now looking to respond with the Rattlers. They only have that 1 point so far in the early goings of this second half. Benny now at the ball, left free throw line extended. Matthews looking for it. Benny now decides to drive instead. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Rattlers have to get something going. Minor now with the ball. Minor jab step, spins, and is rejected, but the foul is called. Nussman got the block up top, but they're going to get Gramlich for the foul down low. His second foul of the game. And so far, partner, we're not even 3 minutes into this half, but it seems a little whistle happy. Already 4 fouls called.
Yes, the referee's trying to gain some type of control in this game. Very physical play between both teams as Minor gets set for the second free throw, which he's able to convert.
Minor now with 13 points, which is not something Minor at all. He leads all Rattlers with that point total. Next up is Marvin Witt. He has 10. Benny has 9. On the other side of things, Nussman has 11. McBulu has 6, and Gramlich has 4. Here's Mabulu. He kicks to Gramlich for 3, no good. And a foul is called, and I think they called it on Matthews. Yes, they did. They said that he was holding on Lindsay, and that's the 3rd foul on Matthews as Monroe will look to check into the game. And just very, very whistle heavy so far. Feel maybe a little bit too much. Here's Gramlich with the ball. He passes it down low. Nussman, that one was a foul. And it looks like they're going to get him 2 free throws on the line. And the call is on Joe Monroe. His 3rd foul as well. So a lot of the Rattler bigs now in foul trouble. Bolton, he starts at that 4 position. He has 3. Isaiah, he has 3. And now Monroe, he has 3 as well. And it looks like Ryan Thomas will have to come into the game.
And I believe Bolton has 4 personals actually after he committed the offensive foul. And Monroe will check out of the ball game after picking up his 3rd. So after seeing what happened with J.J. Bolton, Coach Zelznak not taking any chances with the duo of Matthews and Monroe as the second free throw is missed by Nussman.
Ryan Thomas also with 2 fouls. And then the last big man on the bench they have, which is McAshen, he has 2 fouls as well. There's Alexander, the power move, the right-handed hook. Very nice work in the post. Too big and too strong for Alexander.
Alexander, that move is his bread and butter. The nice baby hook off the turnaround in the post as Minor is called for the foul. You're not seeing much complaining from the St. Edward's bench. Clearly not as much as we saw in the first half.
5 fouls already called against the Rattlers, and we're not even 4 minutes into the second half. They need to get back to moving their feet like they were in the first. Lindsay with the ball. Lindsay uncontested, and that one, off a Rattler player's hand. McBulu with it, and he's rejected by Thomas. And out of bounds it goes. 33 seconds on the shot clock for the Hilltoppers. McBulu looks to inbound. He's looking for the lob there, but a foul called before. Another foul. It's on. This one on Minor, and this is getting a bit ridiculous. The Hilltoppers, they'll be in the bonus. The next foul the Rattlers commit, and we're just now touching the 4-minute mark of the second half. No foul called there, as it'll be Rattler basketball. We'll head to a commercial break with the media timeout. You're watching Rattler basketball on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler fans. Rattlers doubling up the Hilltoppers. 27-54 the score. As a slow start to the second half. Alexander, another right-handed hook, another time he delivers. Alexander starting to get in on the scoring act as he now has 5. Lindsay with the ball up top. He's checked by Thomas. McBulu with it now. Receives a screen from Lindsay. Back to Lindsay. Nice two-man game. Lindsay off to Grimlich. He dribbled it off his foot and out of bounds it goes. Rattlers will take over possession, now leading by 29.
And despite the plethora of foul calls against the Rattlers, you could tell by the way St. Edward's has been attacking the basket. They are mindful of the presence of the Rattlers. As you could see on the previous play, Gramlich was anticipating the contact from Thomas, as Thomas is called on the offensive foul. Another foul call called on the Rattlers, and their bigs are in deep trouble as Thomas now has picked up his 3rd foul. Coach Z willing to put Thomas on the floor despite the foul trouble, as good help defense there by Marvin Binney.
Here comes McAshen into the game now, and Thomas will head to the bench. McAshen.
Rather, that was
Pierce. Pierce coming in, I beg your pardon. So Rattlers going a bit smaller here now. Bounce pass. Oh, and it's slammed home. Nice finish there by Nussman, as it looked like Alexander was poised to swat that one away, but strength in the finish there.
And I don't think I've ever said this at one point or another, but the St. Edward's Hilltoppers, the only way they can get back into this ball game is if they do slow down the tempo, which normally we see St. Mary's play at a slower tempo, but the Hilltoppers slowly but surely crawling their way back into this ball game by showing great patience and drawing fouls against St. Mary's Rattlers.
Yeah, if they're able to get to the free throw line, first thing it does is it stops the clock. The second thing it does is those are supposed to be free points. They're called free throws. So if they're able to keep drawing these fouls, not only will it wear down St. Mary's and make it harder for their guys to play with the aggression they did in the first, but you're right, it will allow them to eventually crawl their way back into this game. That one an errant pass, but recovered by Lindsay. He attacks and a foul called. Looks like they're going to get Cameron Pierce on that one, and that'll be Pierce's 2nd.
And the free throw numbers after that barrage by St. Edward's, they now have the advantage in free throws attempted. Make that 13 out of 24 for the Hilltoppers as a team. St. Mary's shooting 77.3% with 17 out of 22 from the line collectively, as the second one is missed as well. And as the great Rasheed Wallace would say, ball don't lie.
And an offensive foul called on the Rattlers. This time they're going to get Witt. That'll be his 2nd.
And St. Mary's needs to maintain their composure. They cannot get themselves psychologically distracted, if you will, due to these foul calls. They have to just play through it. St. Edward's having to play through it as well, as they are trying to cut into this Rattler lead.
Yep, if you're the Rattlers, you have to remember the team you're playing are the Hilltoppers. You're not playing the referees. So even though they might be making some calls that you don't like, that doesn't make an excuse for you. You have to keep on playing, as that one scooped home by McBulu. Here comes Benny now up the floor. Rattlers still leading by 26. They've only scored 7 so far in this second half. Benny over to Pierce now. And here's Minor. Over to Witt. Witt feeding Alexander. He's been good on that left block, and the trend continues upward for Alexander. He has 6 of the Rattlers' 9 points here in the second half. As that one out of play, and they're saying it's off of Gold. It'll be Hilltopper ball. Good hustle there by Nussman to get another possession for the Hilltoppers.
And you could see Benny telling Alexander, grab the ball with both hands. But I believe Justin just couldn't get both hands up in time as Nussman hitting on that fadeaway jumper. Good set play there by the Hilltoppers.
Benny now up the floor, receives a pick from Cameron Pierce. Lots of space. Oh, and that one off the front of the rim and out of play. The Rattlers got the shot they wanted there, but just not able to convert. Substitutions on the Hilltoppers side as they'll bring in Lilly and Gilbert. Gramlich will head to the bench. As bringing it up the floor now is McBulu. That one passed over to Burton. Burton back to McBulu. Receives a pick from Lilly. Here's Nussman now. He's been their best player today. A foul called on Alexander. Alexander now with 3 fouls called on him. Every single Rattler big man has at least 3 fouls on them now.
And with 12 and a half minutes left to play, this is a sign of tough times now coming up for the St. Mary's Rattlers, who once led by almost 30. And Nussman and the Hilltoppers just inching their way closer. And you can imagine if St. Edward's converted on their free throws, this game would be much closer than it actually is. They're shooting now 50% from the charity stripe. Not so much charity for the Hilltoppers, though.
Monroe boxes out. And another lane violation called. That's a third one called today. This time they get Benny. Nussman, he'll head to the free throw line yet again after the miss.
This game really testing the Rattlers' poise.
And it misses again, so Minor with the rebound. Here comes Marvin Benny. Nussman 0 for 3 on that trip. Pierce sets the screen. Benny driving in the lane, and the foul. Marvin Benny giving the fans something to cheer about for what seems like the first time in forever. Marvin Benny now sitting with 9 points, a chance to make it 10.
Great elevation, great concentration. Marvin Benny at the line looking to complete the 3-point play, which he does. 3 points the Marvin way.
The Rattlers lead back up to 29 now. Lilly, he passes it out. That's to Gilbert. Gilbert over to Burton and back up to McBulu. McBulu back to Gilbert. Here's Lilly now in the post. Nussman makes a move and a foul is called. Double bonus has been in effect for quite a while now for the Hilltoppers, and they're going to get Joe Monroe on that foul. That's his 4th. So the Rattlers big men, now 2 of them with 4 fouls. That's Bolton and Monroe. First one goes in for Nussman. Ryan Thomas checking into the game for Monroe. Thomas, he has 3 fouls. Yet to get on the scorer's sheet today.
Nussman, 6 of 11 from the free throw line. Make it 7 out of 12 now.
As the lead decreases to 27, here comes Benny and the Rattlers.
Credit St. Mary's, however, for maintaining their poise. Their lead 27.
Minor with the ball up top, passes it over to Benny. Benny in the lane, over to Witt. Marvin to Marvin, Witt to Benny, over to Pierce. Now back to Minor in the corner, jab step. Dribbling around, trying to drive baseline, the spin move. He puts it up, no good.
Oh, what a play.
Great job by Minor, being relentless and getting his own rebound and putting it in. He's now at 15.
Very solid possession there for St. Mary's. Minor just asserting himself on the offensive boards.
Burton drives, count it with a foul, and they're going to get Ryan Thompson. Oh, an offensive foul called. Excuse me, I thought they said count it. And with that, we're underneath the 12-minute mark. Rattler fans, your Rattlers still leading by 29. Media timeout called on the floor, and we'll head over to our MC, David Tovar, for a little game right here with our own Carl Wackers. Ten seconds. We have a winner. Oh, lots of fun down on the floor. We have a winner today. Carl Wackers won himself a nice iTunes gift card right there as the Rattlers look to win this game. But Rattler fans, to remind you, we want to hear from you. Interact with us. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. Also, follow us on Twitter at St. Mary's Rattlers. Check us out on Instagram on the same handle at St. Mary's Rattlers. For VODs and interviews of the games, check us out on youtube.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. And of course, for anything at all that you could want from your St. Mary's Rattlers, bios about the players, statistics, pictures, anything at all, check out RattlerAthletics.com. And partner, weather's about to change yet again. It's starting to heat up just a little bit. If I want a short sleeve tee to let everyone know that I'm a Rattler fan and I'm proud, where do I have to go to get one?
RattlerGear.com is the place to go, partner, where you can find all your fine Rattler merchandise, memorabilia, and collectibles. That is RattlerGear.com, where there's a special going on. You can get 10% off all magnets and decals. That is until February 4th, so get there while you can. As a loose ball foul is called, and it'll be on Minor. That is his third personal foul. And St. Edwards will head to the line once again. And before we move on, you mentioned all our social media platforms. We highly encourage all of you to check us out on social media because we're working on a little project for RattlerAthletics.com. So be the first to know about it when it does happen. That's RattlerAthletics.com.
I'm very excited about this little project, and I can't wait for the release of it. Well, back to the basketball game we go. McBulu at the line, he knocked down the first. Second one is no good as Witt comes down with the board right there. And now Benny will bring it up the floor. St. Mary's, they've pushed the lead back to 30. It was at 31 temporarily. That was their largest lead of the game. Thomas fighting for position down low. Bryce Smith checked into the game for Minor during those free throws being shot. Also, we see Ricketts checking back into the game for the Hilltoppers. Smith now dribbling. He's met by two Hilltoppers. Here's Witt getting into the lane. Bryce Smith. Offensive foul called on the drive by Witt. That'll be his second. Offensive foul, so no free throws given on those. As we see McBulu now bringing it back down the floor. Oh, he's given a challenge by Benny, who almost came away with it. This one put up for two, and it's good. Nice shot there by Gilbert. Benny right now bringing up the floor. And partner, we've seen the momentum in the game kind of slow down. But the thing that the Rattlers are doing very well, they're just trading with St. Edwards, and they're not letting them get back into this game or go on any major runs.
And that's a credit to the poise that these Rattlers are showing. Their lead 28 has not gone below the 20-point mark at all in this half. And as I'm looking at the numbers here, there are only 4 Rattlers that have less than 3 personal fouls. The rest of them have either 3 or 4 fouls. No Rattler has fouled out just yet.
Something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on as we get to the later stages of this game. Matthews checks back in for Thomas. Matthews with 3 fouls, Thomas with 3 as well. He did a good job in there. As the Rattler lead back to 30. McBulu with the ball. Pierce switches onto him. Here's Ricketts now. Feeds it into Lilly. And a call is made. And they're going to get Marvin Benny right there. That's going to be Benny's second. Benny, so far, he's having a great day production-wise with 16 points. Benny, he leads all Rattler scores with that. Second is Minor with 15, and then Witt with 10. As the first one put up by Lilly is good. That's his 4th point of the day. On the other side, Nussman, he has 17 to lead all Hilltoppers, and Mbulu has 9 in the second spot. Lilly, the second one up, and good as well. He's now at 5. Smith looking to inbound, and he does so to Witt. This full court pressure still being applied by the Hilltoppers. Pierce up to Matthews, and the Rattlers do break the press, and Benny will take it up top. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Pierce sets the screen. Hilltoppers fight through it. Here's Smith now. Smith driving into the lane. The left-handed teardrop beauty there by Bryce Smith. 6 points on the board now for him.
Crafty move there by Bryce Smith. Floating and hanging in the lane, finishing with the left hand.
Here's Mbulu. That one passed out top to Gilbert. No good. Witt comes down with the board. Witt, good handles, able to protect the ball, and now it'll be shuffled off to Benny. Benny spending the clock right here. 24 on the shot clock. Here's Witt now. Up to Matthews. Matthews, the power move, and he'll draw the foul. That one's going to be on Ricketts. Isaiah Matthews playing smart, in foul trouble himself. That one on Ricketts is his first. St. Mary's will be shooting 1-1 the rest of the way, as there are 18 fouls now on the Hilltoppers, so 2 away from that double bonus. McAshen, he'll check in for Pierce. So St. Mary's will be going with a bigger lineup right here. On the other side of things, Watkins has checked into the game, and Mbulu will get a rest. Matthews, good, 2 for 2. St. Mary's now with their biggest lead of the game at 32. Watkins, he'll pick up the ball. Over to Ricketts. Now Gramlich with it. Back to Ricketts in the corner. He'll hoist up a 3, and that one's good for Ricketts. And immediately a timeout call. That looked like it was on the St. Edwards side of things. 30-second timeout real quick. We'll take the break with them really quickly, and when we come back, we'll have our media timeout and Ruben Dominguez with a sideline report. And welcome back, Rattler fans. They decided to turn that 30-second timeout into a full. So we have Ruben Dominguez with us here. Ruben, We've seen a lot of calls going on early and a lot of Rattlers in foul trouble, but what exactly have they done in order to maintain this lead that they grew in the first half?
Well, despite some key players getting into foul trouble, it doesn't seem like they've been stifled at all, taking their lead now to 29 points. The Rattlers done a good job of sustaining the momentum and keeping with the program.
And has there been any player in particular that stood out to you, or is it just a total team effort going on out there?
I've been really impressed by Marvin Binney in the second half. He now has 16 points, so he's been leading the way for the Rattlers.
All right.
And Ruben, lastly, what do the Rattlers need to do to cruise to this victory? Foul trouble, definitely an issue here in the second half. What do you suggest that they do heading into the final 7.5 minutes?
Well, the Rattlers really just need to keep their heads and make sure they don't fall into any of the traps of the frustration from St. Edward's.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Ruben Dominguez, our sideline reporter and new member of the Rattler Network. Always a great thing to have you on. Well, Rattler fans, we have a media timeout, so we'll go on ahead and take the break with them. Rattlers lead by 29 here on the Rattler Network. And we welcome you back, Rattler fans. 72-43, the Rattlers in the lead. As we see a couple of substitutions taking place, a new Rattler face is on the floor. As it will be number 10, Jeremy Givens, checking into the game for the first time today. He'll get into action, possibly because of some of the foul trouble the Rattlers are experiencing, but Givens, a high-energy player, and I actually saw him after we were shooting that thing that we've been teasing all day. After we were putting up and finishing from that, I saw Givens in here by himself just shooting some jumpers and putting them up. So hopefully it leads to him having some nice productive action here as he will go to the free throw line for a 1-on-1 situation. 7:05 remaining in the first half. Substitution made. Gramlich will head to the bench as King will head in. You can see the Rattlers changing up the matchups just a bit. Givens' first shot from the free throw line is good. Now we see Minor coming in, and he'll get Witt. It's Marvin Witt, he'll take a breather. And if the Rattlers are able to maintain this lead, might be the last we see of those players today. Good rebound there by Ricketts as the ball advanced up the floor. Here's King hoisting up a three, and he knocks it down. Smooth stroke there by Aubrey King.
And this is around the time that St. Edward's may elect to just start shooting threes, trailing by 27. Three-pointers may be the only option now for the Hilltoppers if they want to get back into this with only 6.5 left.
Here's Bryce Smith, left free throw line extended, looking for the place. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, nice pass there, but McAshen not able to handle it. Matthews comes up with it, and down goes Lilly, but he's able to get it off to King. King now bringing it up the floor. That one dished off to Watkins. Here's Lilly now. That one dished out to Ricketts. Ricketts for three. That's good as well. Back-to-back possessions with three bombs from the corner, and Coach Z wants a timeout for this Rattler team. As you can see, not too happy, and You're right, partner. The only way that the Hilltoppers can feasibly get back into this game is by bombing away those three-pointers.
Back-to-back threes have trimmed this Rattler lead down to 24. This is quite possibly the lowest that this Rattler lead has come to, and I believe that during this timeout it was announced by our very own Russ Kubasek, who in his own right is a former military as well, here tonight in attendance for this Operation Drive to the Basket. He announced over $700 tonight was collected between both the girls and boys basketball games here this afternoon.
And I don't think that includes the items that were donated, the non-perishable items as well. So just another great reason why it's a great time to be part of this Rattler community, as we see a little bit of a shove possibly, who knows. Givens, Miner now with the ball. Miner driving to the basket, hanging in the lane, and he gets the soft roll off of the soft touch. And you can just tell by the way that he put that one up that it was going to bounce around and softly fall in.
And it's just been one of those days here for Kristen Miner, who has been on fire from the start, as you see Bryce Smith trying to track down the ball. And a backcourt violation on the Hilltoppers, as no St. Mary's player touched the ball prior to it entering the backcourt. And Smith will inbound.
Givens with the ball up top. Matthews or McAshen are the screen ability. He goes to Matthews. McAshen with it up top now. McAshen gives it off to Miner. Back to Smith, back to Miner. So look for Matthews now. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Matthews will put it up, get his own offensive rebound. Shot clock not reset. Matthews forces up another, and both times not able to draw any rim, as Ricketts able to come down with that board. Here's Lilly now, quickly up the floor. This one given off to Gilbert, and there's a scrum for the ball, and the Rattlers come away with it. Gilbert now, as Lilly reached around and smacked the ball. Rattler bench complaining a bit, but Coach Lee telling the guys to calm down. Matthews now gives it off to Miner. Screen set. 15 seconds. Givens with the ball up on the sideline. 10 seconds now. And a foul is called, and Givens will head to the line for two yet again. 4:14 remaining here in the second half, as Nussman is ready to check back in. Rattlers will be shooting in the double bonus the rest of the way, as Givens offline on that free throw. Lilly will check out, Nussman back in. He's had himself a nice day with 17 points and 7 rebounds. Givens puts in another. He has 2 points on the night. Watkins bringing it up the floor, off to Burton now. The shot put up, no good. Nussman trying to come down with it amongst 4 Rattlers on Bryce Smith. Had Nussman lay down on top of him. Timeout is called on the Rattlers side. Bryce Smith, though, pops back up and seems like he's just fine. That's just an awkward position for Smith, but he's a trooper, so he's going to be all right.
Smith was sandwiched between the floor and Nussman. Truly a rock and a hard place to be in a position like that. But St. Mary's cruising now. The final media timeout. 3:56 left in this one. St. Mary's comfortably in the lead. They're up by 25. And partner, an impressive performance from the St. Mary's Rattlers team, who suffered a heartbreaking, disappointing loss this past Thursday against UTPB, losing by 1, 65-64.
Yeah, and really a great bounce-back effort by that Rattler team. I mean, it's tough to lose that close one at home, but then to bounce back and take on the team that's leading the Heartland Conference, and to really put up an effort like this one. I mean, the game was in contention for maybe the first 4 or 5 minutes, but since that time, it's really been out of reach the entire rest of the way, as we see Marvin Witt checking in for Bryce Smith now. Smith being attended to a little bit on the trainer's bench, but looks like he might just have a little bit of blood there, but he seems fine. He's totally aware, so no worry on Bryce Smith. Just being attended to just a bit. Minor now, the ball top of the key. Off to Givens now. McAshen posting up down low, trying to get position. Givens trying to give it to him. Witt now at the screen by McAshen. Here's the pass. 3 seconds on the shot clock and a shuffle of the feet, and McAshen will be called for the turnover. Final media timeout called here. 3:28 remaining. The Rattlers lead it by 27 here inside of Bill Greehey Arena. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 76-49. The Rattlers in the lead. They slowed down production-wise here in the second half, but really never had the lead relinquished as as Watkins brings it up the floor, gives it off to Ricketts. Oh, a little bit of a big step there, but no shuffle called. Here's Watkins now, hoisting up the sideline. The free throw line jumper, I should say, no good. Burton with the ball now. Off to Rickett. Rickett driving to the baseline, and it's good. Nice scoop up there by Rickett. 8 points off the bench for this Hilltopper team as he's contributed nicely. 2:50 remaining in the second half. The Rattlers trying to finish this one on out. Minor with the ball up top, up to Witt. Back to Minor now. Here's Givens with the ball. He's looking for McAshen, but he cannot quite find him. Givens crossing back over. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Rattlers are going to have to hoist one up. Minor for three, and it's good. It's been that kind of night for St. Mary's. If you had to sum up the game in one shot, that one might be it, as Minor now with 19 on the game. And timeout called. 30-second timeout called, they're saying.
I believe Isaiah might have fouled out.
That one put up and good. Nice shot there, a 2-point bucket for Gilbert. Here's Witt now with the ball. Looking inside, he finds McAshen. McAshen a bit out of the post. That one put up and good. Minor, another three ball. That one was a beaut. 21 points now on the night. And partner, looking forward and looking ahead for this Rattler team. I mean, they're just now starting to get into the real meat of their Heartland Conference games, as in transition, nice finish by Minor. He's put up 8 straight points in a row. But next up, they have Texas A&M International. That one is going to be on the 22nd, so that'll be on a Thursday. And then after that, they have Dallas Baptist at home as well on that same Saturday. If St. Mary's can start stringing together these Heartland Conference wins, then they could really start looking strong going into possibly a Heartland Conference tournament berth.
Indeed, these Heartland Conference games all important, as Minor feeling it as he hits once again. 10 consecutive points for Kristen Minor.
He's ending the game just as hot as he started the game. The Rattler lead at 31 with 40 seconds remaining. And this one just all but over. This one put up and good. Nice bucket there for Gilbert. Checking into the game is Guderian for the first time for the Hilltoppers. But St. Mary's will go on ahead, dribble out the clock. And Brian, a huge game for the Rattlers. They do not fall below 500. Instead, they push themselves off. They knock off the current #1 team in the Heartland Conference, the Hilltoppers. And St. Mary's in the Battle of the Saints go 2-0 on the day. A victory for the gold and blue.
An impressive victory by the St. Mary's Rattlers, who didn't trail at all in this ball game, and they come away with the 29-point blowout here in the Battle of the Saints. A perfect way to conclude this Saturday afternoon. Operation Drive to the Basket, a success. First the women coming out victorious against the Lady Hilltoppers, and now the men concluding this afternoon in style with a victory.
Well, Rattler fans, we thank you so much for joining us throughout the day. A very, very nice way to end it, to say the least. Rattler fans, come out, support us next game. We'll be back in action on Thursday. And if you cannot, then be sure to just check us out right here on RattlerAthletics.com. Well, that's going to close it out for us here today, folks. The Rattlers victorious 86-57 here. For Brian Maglioan, Chad Peters, Robin Johnson, Ruben Dominguez, and David Tovar, and all of the Rattler Network, I'm Joe Rodriguez. Take care, everyone.